Hello everyone and welcome to the Dragon Code. In this video we will cover operator overloading. I will first declare one class. I will give it name number. It will have one attribute number, and I will also write constructor. It will have one input parameter n, which will initially be 0, and then I will assign that input number to number attribute. And I will also write method to print that number. Cout number is number. This constructor can act both like default constructor and user-defined constructor. If I just declare object, 0 will be assigned to number attribute, and if I pass some value, that value will be assigned to number attribute. So if I just declare object, 0 will be assigned to number attribute, and this constructor will act like default constructor, and if I pass some value inside that constructor, this constructor will act like user-defined constructor. And let's now print both objects. And let's now run this code. So in first object number is 0, and in second object number is 7. You should also know that you can call constructor with assignment operator with equal sign. So I can also do it like this. And result is same. And if constructor has more than one input parameter, for example z, then I need to put values inside curly brackets. But because I don't have two input parameters, I will leave it like this. Okay, let's now talk about operator overloading. I can use operators with built-in data types, like integers. But if I try to do that with n1 and n2 objects, I won't be able to do so. I will get error. This is because operators are already defined for built-in data types, but because classes are user-defined data types, you need to define operators for each class if you want to use it. In this example, this class has only one attribute, and it will make sense to add number from n1 object and number from n2 object. But classes can have multiple attributes, so C++ can't know what to do with operators, so you need to define them. Let's define operator for addition. So if I try to do this, I won't be able to do so because C++ doesn't know what to do with that. So let's define it. So operator is function. I need to specify data type, return type, and I need to give name, and I must give name operator. I need to write operator, and then I need to write that operator that I want to use. In this case, it is plus. And here I'm trying to add object and number. So it is number, object, and integer number. And here you can define whatever you want. For example, I can return 150. And it will be like I do this number and free 150 because result of this operation is 150, and I will print and free, and as you can see number is 150. So this operator is just function. I can also call it like this, operator plus, and I will pass object and number. And if I run this code again, it also works. So this is explicit calling and this is implicit calling. But you should not do explicit call, you should call operator functions like this implicitly. You can notice that this operator function doesn't make any sense, because when you add object and number, it will always return 150. I just did that to show you that you are free to define behavior of operators, although that behavior might not make sense. So when I'm adding object with number, I should add number from this object with this number. So let's do that. But if I try to access number from this object, I won't be able to do so because it is global function. It is not method. This function doesn't belong to number class, but there is a solution for that, and it is done with friend keyword. So if I want to access private methods and attributes from class in global non-member function, I need to declare that function as friend function inside class. Let's do that. So I need to write friend keyword. Then I need to write function prototype. I don't need variables, just data types. And now I will be able to access number attribute, and I will add it with input number. And now when I run this program, number attribute from this object and this number will be added, and they will be assigned to this object. So it will be like I assign 10 because 7 plus 3 is 10. And let's run this program. So number in object n3 is 10. So it works. But if I try to add two objects, I won't be able to do so because operator is defined to add object and number. It is not defined to add two objects. But let's now define operator to add two objects. So it will also take number object, and let's call it object 2, and this first object, object 1. And here I will add number from object 1 and number from object 2. And because I changed input parameters, I need also to change it here. Now I can access number attribute and also from object 2. And now this will work. If I run this program, number in n3 object is 7 because n1 is 0 and n2 is 7. And now if I try to add object and number again, it will also work. But why? This is because I'm passing objects by value here in operator function, so new objects will be created. So when I call this operator function, those objects will be created, so it will be like this, number object 1, and here I pass n2 object, so copy constructor will be called to create this object 1, and for object 2 I will pass 3 and user defined constructor will be called. But let's see what will happen if I pass objects by reference. I will add ampersands here, and I also need to do that in prototype. And now I won't be able to do this. This is because now I'm passing objects by reference, so those objects that already exist will be used here. So I'm not creating new objects, so constructors won't be called. This is reason why I can only pass objects now. And I will pass n1 object, and this will work. I can also have return type of number. Now I need to return number object. So I will create object and return it. But I also need to change return type here. And let's now run this program. It works. In this case, I overloaded addition operator globally, global function. But you can also do that inside class with method. Let's do that with subtraction operator. I need to specify return type, then I need to give name operator minus. It will have one object of class number as input parameter. Then I will return object number, and I will subtract number and number from object. I have only one object as input parameter. This is because when operator is overloaded inside class, first object in subtraction operation, in this case, will call this operator function. So if I do this n2 object will call this operator minus function, so this refers to n2 object and object refers to this n1 object. I will give some another value to n1 and let's run this program. So number is 2 because 7 minus 5 is 2. So because in this case n2 object call this operator minus function, explicit call will be like this, operator minus, and here I will pass n1 object. And if I run this code, result is same, number is again 2, but I will move back on implicit call. This was operator overloading inside class. When operator change state of object, it should be overloaded inside class. And this is case with shorthand operators like this operator. When you subtract or add two objects, you are not changing them. But when you use these shorthand operators, you are changing state of object. And now I will overload this operator inside class. It will have number data type, name operator plus equal, it will have number object as input parameter. And here I will add number of that object to number inside this object. And now I will use this operator on n3 object, so n3 plus equal 100. And I will run this code. I have error. Operator must return value. Yes, I forget to return value here. And now it works. Number is 102. 100 is added to number attribute inside n3 object. And let's now overload one relational operator. I will do this with greater than operator. So it is Boolean data type operator greater than, and it will have two objects. I will declare this function as friend function to be able to access attribute primitive attribute number. So it's going to be friend function. And I don't need object's name, just data types. So I will return result of condition object number from object 1 is greater than number from object 2. So if this is true, this function operator function will return true, and if it's not, it will return false. And now I will use that operator. So if n3 is greater than n2, cout true, and else cout false. False. And now I will run this program. n3 is greater than n2 because it is 102. And if I compare n1 and n2, and it is false because 5 is not greater than 7. This is all for this video. If you like this video and want more videos like this, press like button and subscribe, and see you next time.